Hi everyone and welcome back to the fishing lakes, where we're back to check on the BSHoney 2-in-1 nuke that has the two 3-frame nukes that went completely queenless, appear to be hopelessly queenless, but we've given it another week and we're just going to have a check to see whether we've got a laying queen in either side. And the options then will become fairly restricted. If we've got a queen, then we can remove the division board and allow the two 3-frame nukes to become one 6-frame nuke, and then we can prepare them for the winter by feeding. And if neither side has a laying queen, it's starting to get rather too late to delay any further, because we need to get them into another colony so that we can unite them, settle them down, and then build that single colony up so that it's ready to go through the winter as well. So those are the two options to us, really. We could pop another queen in from one of the other nukes and combine them with another nuke here, but if they are hopelessly queenless, we're going to take them over to the allotments apiary and use this colony together with a couple of smaller colonies that we've got over there and unite them all together, and if we do that, we'll put that on video as well. So let's take the camera through into the apiary and see whether we've got a queen, or see whether in fact we need to take some further remedial action. So this is our little BSHoney 2-in-1 nuke. It's heading towards autumn. You can probably tell with the trees around us that the leaves are now starting to turn a little bit yellow, and it's important that we get this sorted as quickly as we can now to give them the best possible chance of surviving through the winter. So we'll give them a little bit of smoke, and then we'll bring the camera in and we'll have a look to see how they're doing. So we've given them a little bit of smoke and plenty of bees in here, so hopefully they're going to be, at least one side will have a queen. And so this happened, if you haven't seen the previous video, this all kind of happened because we think we put the Apivar strips in. It happened pretty much immediately we put the Apivar strips in. They had queens, eggs, brood in all stages in both sides, and within a week of moving them, they were apparently queenless. So from memory, this outside frame was full of food, which it is. The bees, again, they're not terribly happy. They weren't happy last week. So we'll give them some smoke. We'll just see if we can spot any eggs, any brood. And apart from lots of pollen, I'm thinking that we've got eggs. But I've forgotten to put my glasses on, so I need to go back to the truck and just find my glasses. So, having collected my glasses from the truck, I can now properly see what we've got happening. And I'm delighted to say that we have eggs. So, lots of eggs in this frame. I don't know whether we can show you on camera the eggs. Zoom in and see if we can get the focus into the cells and show you whether we've got some eggs. We'll have a look. I can't really tell. But we'll have a look and see if we've managed to get some eggs on camera for you. So let's have a look at this next frame, because we don't have to have a look at it, because we now know that we've got some eggs, so we can just close them up again. But it'll be interesting to see just what they've done in terms of quantity of eggs. And in this frame we've got lots of young larvae, so she will have started laying probably shortly after we inspected last week. Some of this larvae looks 3 or 4 days old. So I can't see the queen. Oh, there she is. Yes, I can see the queen. So here's our queen. She's not marked, and again I've left the marker pen back in the truck, but the queen is wandering around here, so that's good news. We'll pop her back in, being very careful, because obviously she's facing the dummy board in the middle, the division board. But they're not terribly happy bees, so maybe the traits of these bees isn't exactly what we want, but we'll leave them over winter. So the important thing now is to determine whether the side nearest the camera has got a laying queen in it. So maybe putting the Apivar in caused a brood break, and they decided that they were going to clean out all of the brood as well. So we'll see what we've got here. Just gently ease this out. So nothing on that frame. I'll just pop that down beside the box. So in this side we also have some eggs and brood. There's a small patch just on this frame here, so we'll have a look and see. Oh, and I can see a queen here, so by comparison she's a tiny little queen, and she's just buried in amongst this batch of bees here. Now I would potentially be a little bit concerned, here she comes, a little bit concerned that maybe she might be a drone laying queen. She might be supersedure and therefore not mated properly, and could potentially be a drone layer. But now that we've got a queen that's laying well in one side, we should be able to resolve this situation if it does in fact become a problem. So we'll just lift this one out and check to see whether we've got any eggs in this side. So not as many eggs, so it would appear that she's only just started laying again, so we need to give her some time to start laying properly, and then for us to assess whether or not she's actually a drone layer, and that will become apparent very quickly. So it's not a major issue, but we have one queen there that is laying, and laying well. So I'll just shake these bees off so I can pop the frame back in without rolling lots of bees. And then we can close them up and pop back to the truck and just have a final word about what we're seeing. So partial success there. One side we've got what appears to be a healthy laying queen again, and that was the 3-frame nuke closest to me. And in the other side it appears that we've got a very small queen that could potentially be a drone layer. Now it's interesting, and it probably doesn't show up quite so well on camera, but as I was inspecting, I could see the laying pattern of the queen that was closest to me, and she'd laid lots of eggs in a lot of cells and was functioning as you would expect, with brood developing from the older eggs and then younger larvae around that towards the outside, and then eggs on the outside. With the queen nearest the camera, there was a very small patch, maybe 10 centimetres by 4 or 5 centimetres, just a small section, and it looked as if some of the cells were being built up, which would tend to indicate to me that she could be a drone laying queen. Now it might be that she's just happened to have selected some cells that were already raised and that she's only just started laying again, but looking at the two queens, it's noticeable that the second queen was very small, and again that would tend to lead me to think that maybe she hasn't mated. All of that said, at no point have we seen any queen cells in these colonies, and prior to the treatment both sides had a properly functioning queen right 3-frame nuke. So each little individual colony was functioning perfectly well. So I'm really not too sure exactly what's happened. It might all come out in the wash this week, and we'll give them another week, and then next week we might find that both sides are back laying as normal and everything's fine. Or we might then have to again take another step of removing what could be a drone laying queen, and then taking out the division board and allowing it to become a 6-frame nuke. So it's going to take another week, because we don't want to keep going into them too quickly, and we need to allow that smaller queen some time to start laying more eggs and allow them to develop so we can see what's happening. But it's really interesting, and I think for you guys this illustrates the timing and how quickly time seems to pass when you're trying to prepare for winter. Getting treatments on and then getting them fed and getting plenty of food into the colony to overwinter is really important, but when you come up against a problem like this, it can delay everything somewhat. And of course we might have caused it ourselves by putting in the treatments, so that's something else to consider. If you've got any questions, pop them beneath the video and I'll answer them as quickly as I can, but failing that, we'll catch up again next week with this same colony and we'll see how they're progressing. Thanks for watching.